Hi, my name is Dylan and today I'll be covering Vlab. Vlab is a way to work at the CSE machines from home. It is great in the sense that it sends the entire desktop of a Linux machine to your own computer. There are other videos with alternatives, however I think that this is the simplest solution. So, to run Vlab we'll need two programs. All setups will require a VNC client, which will allow your computer to connect to Vlab. The recommended choice is Tiger VNC, which is free and readily available on most platforms. However, most other VNC clients should also work. To download the client, we'll go into our browser. We'll Google for Tiger VNC, and it should be the first link. Once there, go down to Releases, and you should see a link to download binaries. So, once we're on this link, we're looking for the .dmg file, which is the installer for Macs. So, for me, it's Tiger VNC 17.1. I'm going to click Download, and you should see it pop up as a download. So, once the file is downloaded, we'll go to our Downloads folder, and we'll click on the tigervnc.dmg. You'll see the DMG pop up on your desktop. So when we click on it, we'll find we now have the README, the license, and the application. If you drag the application into your Applications folder, it will be installed. The second program we need is the VPN. A VPN will allow you to remotely connect to the university network, allowing you to access things as if you're on campus. This is generally for security, as the original VNC client doesn't encrypt network traffic. The VPN to connect to the UNSW network can be found by going back into Google and typing in the address vpn.unsw.edu.au and hitting enter. You'll need to log in with your username and password, which will be your ZID or your ZPass, and leave the group as the UNSW staff and students. Click Login, and you'll be greeted with a nice warning message. Just click Continue, and you'll find it does a series of checks. For me, the auto install didn't work, so I'm going to click on the link for AnyConnect VPN, and it will automatically download to my computer. So I'm going to click Keep, and wait for it to download. Once the file has downloaded, you can go into your Downloads folder and open up AnyConnect DMG. Like before, it will create a folder on your desktop, and you can open that up and you'll find the installer. Double click on that installer, and you'll be greeted by a message. Follow through the steps using the default instructions and you should be fine. So we'll agree, we'll install it, and then you'll need to type in your computer password. This is not your ZPass, but the password you use to log into your computer. And then hit install. It will take a while it runs the package scripts, but this is absolutely fine. When you get an installation successful, you can close the installer and move it to the trash. We can do the same for the Tiger installer. Once this is finished, we'll need to open up the VPN we just installed. So we'll go to our Applications folder, and then under Cisco, you'll see we have the new Cisco AnyConnect client. We'll open that up, and you'll see you have this window. The address we connect to is again the vpn.unsw.edu.au. Hit connect, and you should get this login box. This will require you to put in your ZID and your ZPass. Once that's done, hit OK, and you'll get greeted by two warning messages again. So we'll accept them and wait for it to connect. When this is finished, you'll see up in the taskbar that your VPN is connected and you'll have options to disconnect. Well, for now, we'll leave it. Once you're connected to the VPN, all the traffic to UNSW websites will be routed through this network. So it will be like you're at uni. Next, we go back into our Applications folder and we open up Tiger VNC. Because it's the first time, we'll be asked if we want to open it. We'll click Yes. To connect to the Tiger VNC, we'll need a new address for Vlab. The address is vlab.cse.unsw.edu.au. This number on the end will specify the resolution, so we need to make sure we get the one that's appropriate for our computer. I use 5915 as it suits mine, however you can choose a number from the list below. When that's ready, click Connect, and you'll see Vlab opens up. So this is the login you'll see when you get into a lab machine. So now if I type in my ZID, and I type in the password, I'll get 2 more warning messages which I can OK through, and then the desktop I get in the lab machine will open up. So you can use everything you can on a lab here. So once you've logged in, you'll get your desktop window, which is exactly what you see in the lab machine. You can do everything on this window you could do in a lab. So we'll right click and we'll open up a terminal. You can see we're on the desktop and we're going to make a file in our home directory. So we're going to change directory, CD, and hit enter. Then we're going to make a directory called lab01, and we're going to change into that directory. Now we're going to use the text editor getIt to open up a file called helloworld.c. So we'll type getIt helloworld.c. After you type the file name, we want to put an ampersand, which means we can still use the terminal while getIt is open. When that's done, hit enter, and you'll see getIt open up. So here we'll write a simple C program. And as you can see, it prints Hello World. So we're going to save this program by going up to the taskbar and clicking Save, and then we can close it. So because we're in the lab machine, we can now check that our file was made, and you can see there's now helloworld.c, and now we're going to compile it. We can use the compiler DCC because we are on the lab machine, so we're going to type DCC. Our output file will be called Hello World, and our input file is the helloworld.c. Hit enter, and you'll see it compile. Now if I go ls again, you can see we have our Hello World executable, so I'm going to run it. So /hello world. As you can see, the message has come through. Once we are done compiling our program, we can also do other things like open up a browser. So if I click on the application menu and go down to Internet, I'll see I have an option for Firefox. You may see Chrome in the lab, however Chrome is not yet compatible over Vlab. So I'm going to open up Firefox, and you'll be able to see I can use things as if I was using it on the lab machine. Since we're done, we're going to quit Firefox, and we're going to log out. So the door at the top will quit Vlab. So just hit that door, and you get the option to log out. You'll see that the Tiger VNC is now closed, it's no longer open in my dock. And if I wanted to try again and open it up again, I could go back to my applications, I could open up Tiger VNC again, and I could connect again. And so we get the same desktop as before. I can open up my terminal again, change into the lab01 directory, and as you can see, my files are still here. They are all stored on the CSE server. So when we're finished with our files, we've tested and we've submitted them. We can log out, which will close the Tiger VNC, but we also need to disconnect from the VPN. So we'll go back up to our taskbar and hit disconnect. Quitting Cisco altogether would do the same thing, so we can also quit Cisco AnyConnect. And that's it. You've set up Vlab. Thank you.